be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. What up? What up? What up? I want to welcome everybody to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be recapping last night's fight card. We will be discussing the Devin Haney talk and the PBC hate, and how, just to give my 2 cents, is getting absolutely ridiculous. And of course, we're going to talk about whatever else you all want to talk about, because this is a chat based channel. And I don't want to just be sitting up here doing all this talk. I won't be on here very long today. It's Sunday. It's my day to get prepped and prepared for the week. So, got laundry to do, groceries to buy, food to cook, house to clean, all that good stuff. So, how is everybody doing today? How is it going? What is up? Let a few more people pull on up in here. But yeah, so I watched the fight card last night. I mean, it was a okay card, nothing to write home about. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just spectacular, and it didn't super wow me. But what I really did like about the card is getting the opportunity to see Fundora's little sister fight. Let me look up her name, because I don't want to keep calling her Fundora's little sister. Let's see. Gabriella. So I was glad that I got the opportunity to see Gabriella fight. She looked like a decent fighter. She did get the stoppage. She was cutting the ring off. She was using her jab. She had a little pop on her punches. My only issue with Gabriella was that she wasn't getting her head off the line. It seemed like she just kept getting hit with the same shot over and over. And the girl she was fighting was doing a lot of moving around and pop shotting. But as the rounds went later and later, she was not doing all that moving no more. She started getting hit with a lot of shots. We got All Things in the building. Salute All Things. What's going on? She started getting hit with a lot of shots. But like I said, she was cutting the ring off. She had some pop on her punches. And she did end up getting the stoppage because the girl completely turned her back and was getting punched. And I don't know if she wasn't aware that would get the fight stopped, but it definitely got the fight stopped. And that was the end of that. So I'm not sure what way she's fighting at, but she looked like she's gonna be a pretty good contender. She definitely got some fight skills, definitely got some pop on her punches. She just needs to work on her defense. She needs to get that head off the line. And I noticed that too with Michaela Mayer. She don't get her head off the line either. And I'm like, man, this is a basic fundamental. Get your head off the line. And when I take my son to the gym, because he boxes, that's the same issue we had with him. Like, get your head off the line. Like, what is so hard? You see, you keep getting popped with the same shot. Make the adjustment. But I don't know. I'm not a boxer. I've never literally boxed in the ring. I mean, I had a street fight here, a couple of street fights, but I ain't never just fought in the ring. So maybe that's a difficult thing to do, is get your head off the line. All Things, what you think about that card last night? What you think about that fight? And then we had the Jaime Munguia fight versus John Ryder. And Jaime Munguia is been rumored to be having a fight with Canelo next. And I guess especially if he would have won the fight. But I watched the fight, and it was a good fight. It was an entertaining fight. But I just didn't see, like, neither one of those fighters looked elite to me. I mean, John Ryder looked like he had no business in the ring with Canelo. And granted, Munguia beat John Ryder, but Munguia looked like he don't got no business in the ring with Canelo. And I was on Twitter and I seen the reactions, and everybody was talking about how great Munguia was and this and that. And I'm like, guys, he just beat John Ryder. John Ryder, he was looking slow. He kept getting knocked down. His defense wasn't that great. Like, I don't know. It's like sometimes when these fighters beat, B and C level competition, we want to put them on these levels as if they're the best and the greatest, and that's not necessarily true. Yes, they're good fighters, they're great fighters, but are they the greatest, the best? Are they A-level fighters? Does that make them elite? Does Jaime Munguia beating John Ryder make him an elite fighter? Let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. Does that make him an elite? Is he ready to fight Benavidez, David Morrell, Canelo? How do you all think a fight would go with Munguia and David Benavidez? I think Munguia is a good fighter. He's definitely gotten better. He needs to work on his defense, but I mean, he's a straight come forward fighter with not very good defense. That style will be tailor made for Benavidez to crush him, or David Morrell to crush him, or Canelo to crush him. I don't know why people would even think that Munguia should be Canelo's next opponent. They actually should be not agreeing with that and feel some type of way and be like, no, man, come on, Canelo, we don't want to see you fighting no Munguia. But it is what it is. I have no problem with the way Canelo moves, and he can fight who he want to fight because he's quote unquote deserve that or earn that. My only issue is Canelo, do that without the belts. It's other contenders out here that, just to give my 2 cents, I feel like deserve a shot to be champion, deserve a shot at the belts. From my understanding, Benavidez has fought 3 eliminators. 3. He's beat people 3 separate times to prove that he should get a shot at the belt, and he still don't have a shot at the belt. Mama, dare I say it, it's not fair. I get it. Life not fair. Life ain't fair. My mom used to tell me that all the time, every time I would say that. I tell my kids that too. They be like, Mom, it's not fair. I tell them, hey, life ain't fair, and that's the truth. But come on, this is a sport where you can make rules and regulations for things to be as fair as possible. And for me to have to fight 3 eliminators and not ever get a shot, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. If Canelo's above the belts, if Canelo can make his money without the belts, which he obviously can, he has a huge fan base. At this point, people just want to see him fight whoever. They're not even petitioning or crying for him to fight the best competition. They just want to see him fight. Man, drop the belts and let the other people go fight for the belts so that they can build a name for themselves, build stardom for themselves, and get themselves and possibly put themselves in a position or close to a position that you've been able to put yourself in. But I digress. So, I don't know. I just think Jaime Munguia, a lot of people say he's a hype job, but I won't go as far as to say, oh, Jaime Munguia is a hype job. But I will say he's not elite yet. Maybe he needs a couple of more fights. Maybe he needs more fights. Maybe he needs better competition. But I think he does have about 40 fights under his belt. So that's what's crazy. Did he absolutely destroy John Ryder? I mean, he gave him a good fight. He put him on his butt a couple times. So, and McQueen in the building, salute what's going on. He said he's not a hype job, but I'm hesitant to call him elite. Yeah, I could agree with that, and McQueen. Some say he's a hype job. I wouldn't necessarily call him a hype job. I can't sit here and say I watch every Jaime Munguia fight. I'm not a quote-unquote a fan like that. I'm really just paying attention to him now because they're saying, oh, he might fight Canelo next. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what he made of. But he doesn't give me elite. He's entertaining. He's obviously good to watch. He obviously can put up some competition and give you a good fight. But he's not an elite fighter. Him going against Benavidez and McQueen, all things, whoever in the building, salute. Just let me know and drop it below you in the building. How do you think a fight between Jaime Munguia and Benavidez would go? Or even David Morrell? Because I doubt he's getting the Canelo fight. If Canelo fights this guy, it's just, listen, Canelo, he should be stripped. Just drop the belts. Let other people have an opportunity to get a shot at the belts at 168. Benavidez been at 168. He's definitely a top contender for a belt. And he may have to leave the division without ever getting his shot because Canelo wants to hoard the belts for whatever reason. He's going to make the money. He's going to draw the fans. He's going to sell the pay-per-views. He's going to be able to do all of that without those belts. So What do y'all think about last night's card? Let me know and drop it below. Did y'all watch the whole card? Did y'all just watch some of the card? Did y'all feel that there needed to be some criticism about the card? Which kind of segues me into my next topic is there's a lot of people that feel some type of way about the PBC card that's coming up on March 30th. You got Tim Zoo versus Keith Thurman as the headline, and you have Issa Cruz and Rolly Romero as the co-main event. Now, there's a lot of people that feel like PBC should have brought out the fireworks for this first card. Like, right? They should have put their best of the best on this first card. And listen, this is 2 cents boxing. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I could see how people may feel that way. But just to give my 2 cents, to do that, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Like you want to give first of all, it's the first card on Amazon Prime. So maybe this is what they're thinking. Listen, I'm not in their head. I don't know. I'm just thinking this is possibly what they could be thinking. So maybe they're like, okay, Keith Thurman has a following. He has a name. He has a decent fan base. He can sell decent pay-per-views. People been waiting on his return. Tim Zoo, he has a country behind him. He been doing good. He has a decent fan base. Snoopy, what up? He has a decent fan base. He's a champion now. Possibly put those two together. We could put on a good fight and we could do some decent pay-per-view numbers. Cool. Why? And also, this is our first pay-per-view. So we need to see how everything is going to go, how everything is going to work. I heard that all of the employees from Showtime moved over to Amazon. I guess let's call it the quote unquote boxing division in order to run this. So at least we know that the people that are doing it has some experience. And Andre Noble, what's going on? Martin Luther King. Listen, that name is so hilarious to me. That is so funny. It's like on some boondock stuff. But what's going on? So they have some experienced people running this, but they need to see how things are going to go. They need to get the kinks out. So why would they put on their best absolute card they could absolutely put on the first card, right? We want to give the fans something, put something on a little decent, and then let's make the cards better and better as we go throughout the year, right? Let's make each card better than the last. That's how you keep the consumers involved. That's how you keep the consumers engaged, right? So Keith Thurman versus Tim Zoo. Let me know and drop it below, chat. What do you all think about that fight? What do you all think about that fight? I'm gonna see what y'all got to say, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents about it. Forgot to be going through this. Snoopy say Thurman is a good name to break Zoo into the American market. Yeah, Thurman is a good name to break Zoo into the American market. Like, I'm gonna give my prediction on that, but obviously they're probably thinking that Zoo is gonna beat Keith Thurman. Noble Young, what is up? If Zoo couldn't get Bud, Mel, Lubin, then I'm okay with Thurman. Because let's think about that. They said that from what I heard, they wanted to, it was some rugby going on in America, and I guess rugby is big in Australia. So they were trying to make the card for the beginning of March, but Lubin said that he wasn't going to be ready, so they missed that date. So Lubin missed the opportunity at the fight because Lubin was saying, man, listen, I'm just waiting on the date. So I don't know. But if Zoo couldn't get Bud, Mel, Lubin, then I'm okay with Thurman. I mean, Thurman been sitting out. He been running his mouth the last 2 years. He been giving a reason why he not gonna fight every other fighter that they've been trying to give him to fight. Richard Paris, what up? He been giving a reason why he not gonna fight every other fighter they're gonna give him to fight. So I think he took this fight because he believes he could actually beat Tim Zoo. Snoopy, 3 title fights with Zoo versus Thurman on main event isn't a bad card in my opinion. 3 title fights. Okay, from my understanding, the Zoo Thurman card is not for a belt. And I believe Fundora is on the card. And this is crazy because I was just asking, like, man, what happened to Fundora? We ain't seen him since he got dropped. But I'm glad he's back. I like Fundora. I think that he's an entertaining fighter. I think it's wild. He's so tall and a 147 pounder. He's like a fighter you would build on a video game. But my son is he's about 5'8" and he's about 114 pounds. So he reminds me of Fundora. He just recently started boxing. I didn't think it would be something he would be interested in, but he came to me and let me know he wanted to fight. And I'm like, for real? So he's long and fast in there. He got a little pop. And I don't know what it is with the skinny dudes with the power, but my son got a lot of power behind his punches. I can't believe it. Who's the third title fight? Cruz and Rolly is for a belt. Lou's favorite fighter finna get killed. Rebuttal, shout out Rebuttal Entertainment. Y'all check out Rebuttal Entertainment. I'll be on his lives a lot. He go live at about 7 o'clock. I don't know which days, but it's really fun over there. It's a nice live. Y'all check him out when y'all get the chance. D-Town in the building. What's going on? It's 2 decent names on the card. Let's see. Thurman, a big name, 1 loss, a step up in competition for Zoo. Will be a great name on his resume. On the other hand, a great up-and-coming young fighter. Tall task for Thurman to get him in the mix. Man, okay, I'm glad you said that, Richard Parrish. So Keith Thurman want to take advantage of the up-and-coming fighters, right, is what it's given. But he definitely wasn't trying to see boots. But this is my issue with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is older, and he's been out of the ring for 2 years. Now, it doesn't look like Keith Thurman has ever, quote unquote, got out of the gym or got out of shape, which we don't know. But based off what we see, he looks like he stayed in shape. He stayed in the gym, right? But the 2-year layoffs, and my only gripe that I have with the PBC is I feel like they are sacrificing these fighters, which I know they sacrifice themselves because they don't have to agree to the fights. After long layoffs, like after a long layoff or after an injury, you want to throw me in a big fight for big money when my chances of winning are slim. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I can't say it's PBC fault. I guess it's more of the fighters' fault because they are turning down fights and things like that. But I just don't like that. I want to see these guys fighting, winning, and getting their big paydays. I don't want it to be an either or. To me, Tim Tszyu, y'all let me know and drop it below. But I haven't seen anything special with Tim Tszyu, honestly. I really have, I'm like, am I missing it? Am I not, I'm not the best I don't know what the word is, boxing historian or boxing person. Like I just know everything about boxing. Maybe he's doing something that I'm missing. But y'all let me know and drop it below what it is because I just don't see it. And I really thought Tony Harrison was going to beat Tim Tszyu. But I think Tony Harrison, what I didn't know was Tony Harrison's dad had just died. And they let Tony Harrison know about the fight on short notice. So, yeah, Tony Harrison talked a good game. But once again, he was in a position to where he was on the layoff. His dad just died. He didn't have, his dad was his trainer. He had a lot going on. I'm not making quote-unquote excuses. I'm just saying that he wasn't in the best position to win that fight. And then the ring was like 4x4. And even with all of that, Tony Harrison still was giving Tim Tszyu a hard time in that fight. Some people don't agree with me. They say Tony Harrison got destroyed and smashed. But it took a while for Tim Tszyu to figure Tony Harrison out. Now, they saying the fight is here in the U.S., so I don't know if Tim Tszyu is going to be able to have that advantage of having that smaller ring like he likes to fight in. So Thurman will be able to move around. Says Fundora fight is for a belt. Rolly fight. Oh, and Laura. I forgot Laura was on the card. Laura's on the card also. So they giving you 3 fights, 3 championship fights, and people are in an uproar about it, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So They're saying that they don't think Thurman should be headlining the card, and it's not a good card, and it shouldn't be $80, and the PBC is just doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, listen, y'all. Listen, check this out. Lean in, give me your ear. It's simple. It's so simple. If you got a problem with the card and you don't want to see the card, don't buy it. Boom, problem solved. Just don't buy it. See, they're running around here trying to say, oh, PBC doing bad business. They doing bad business, when the truth is the business isn't bad until people stop buying it. If nobody buy this card and it does trash numbers, then it's bad business. But if it do 300, 400,000 pay-per-view buys, how can you say that's bad business? If you don't want to see the card, you think it's a trash card, you don't think Keith Thurman should be headlining it, don't buy the card. Like, it's just like, you're the consumer, you're in control. That's what people aren't realizing. They acting like PBC putting this card out and then they got soldiers at your house with guns to your head making you buy it. That's not what's happening. Andre Noble say facts. Snoopy say, I'm interested to see how Rolly at 5'8" will handle a 5'4" pit bull. Both got pop. Richard say, nah, I like Zoo. He's showing improvement over time. He looked hella composed versus Mendoza. Patient, stepped it up in spots and made it count. See, I would have loved to see the Fedora Tim Zoo fight, but I guess, Mendoza stopped Fedora and he got the fight next. And I thought Mendoza was going to go in there and do something with Tim Zoo. That's why I'm like, man, what am I missing with this guy? Like, what am I missing with Tim Zoo? I think Mendoza put up a decent fight though, but I'm just not sure what happened. But he definitely not the best at 54. I don't know. I don't know why Mel don't want to fight him. I'm not gonna say he ducking him, but I'm not sure why Jermell Charlo didn't want to fight Tim Zoo. And then Jermell Charlo just got stripped again. I really believe Jermell Charlo is gonna be moving up. Snoopy say it's not a bad pay-per-view card, in my opinion. People just hating. Are they just hating, Snoopy? Because let me see if I could look this up. I looked up the zone schedule. Y'all bear with me. Trying to learn how to use this technology. Let's see. So let me see how I could do this. Andre Noble say, you see the pattern what he is doing. Who you talking about, Tim Zoo, or you talking about Keith Thurman? Who putting on better cards than the PBC? Saudi's over there putting on mismatches. Them PBC fights about to be more competitive. Listen, the PBC putting on a competitive card. You will lose. They not making sure you finna win the fight. You will get put in a fight. Okay, so y'all, let's check this out. So this is the zone boxing schedule, right? Let's see what we got. January 7 had Munguia Ryder, right? February 2nd, Ashton Salve versus Estevan Falico. Saturday, February 3rd, we got Connor Ben versus Peter Dobson. Saturday, February 10th, we got Liam Dillon versus Reese Bellotti. Jojo Diaz versus Jesus Perez. Now, I'm not sure. You got Amanda Serrano and Jake Paul in March. I'm not sure which of these fights are pay-per-view, but just take a look at the schedule, right? Take a look at this schedule. That ends in April. Now, I'm not sure which one of these are pay-per-view. I'm sure I could find out, but I'm just showing that to prove a point that what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Did y'all recognize any of those names on those cards? Amanda Serrano, JoJo Diaz, Jake Paul. I haven't heard not one word about the DAZN schedule. Not one word. Not one word. PBC puts out one card that they finna do, they first card on a whole new network, and it's been slander ever since. Snoopy says if Thurman, who showed up even against Pacquiao, can do that at 155, it's going to be entertaining. I do think Tim Tszyu will drown Thurman by 8. Tim Tszyu is a straight come forward fighter, though. Will he have the footwork? Will he be able to do it? My only issue is that Thurman has had the layoff. And you know how those layoffs do fighters, especially the older fighters, they time and be off. That's really be the biggest issue is they time and be off. And it's like, man, they be barely missing. Richardson Hitchison on there. Yeah, Richardson Hitchison on there. But my point is, nobody has had no issues with that card, like with the DAZN schedule. They've been waiting for PBC to drop something so they can complain. It seems like it doesn't matter what the PBC could have dropped, they was going to complain. Now, let me ask y'all something. What do y'all think about Rolly and Issa Cruz fight? I'm going to give my 2 cents about it. Okay, you got Issa Cruz. He's 5'4". He's moving up in weight. He hasn't had a fight at 140 yet. Who's to say he's even big enough for 140? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say that weight class is not too big of him? We don't know yet. And you got Rolly Romero, who has a belt at 140 and who's had fights at 140. He's acclimated to the weight. And also, I just heard this, so I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but he's no longer with Bullet. So he has a new trainer. And I'm interested to see what Rolly will look like with the new trainer. And I understand Bullet's point because I seen an interview with Bullet. I understand that he built up Rolly to a champion and this and that. But, you know, sometimes when you get to a certain level, you may need to change your trainer or add a trainer or just go get some additional help. And when I watched the interview, he was like, you know, Rolly said he wanted to go train with another trainer for a month. And Bullet was like, well, just stay over there because that ain't loyal. Like, come on, Bullet. Like, to me, that was kind of immature. I don't think it was a matter of loyalty. It's just a matter of me getting some new things added to my game, improving some things. Because let's be honest, Rolly will probably never be a quote unquote boxer. Not all the fighters in boxing are quote unquote boxers, right? They have a style, they have things that they do that they're good at, and it allows them to win and beat the competition. But once you get to a certain level, that is no longer going to carry you forward because the competition is getting more stiff. So you need to go build on what it is that you already do. And maybe Rolly felt like, okay, well, he can't help me. You know what I'm saying? He's not building on, he may help me get better at what I'm already doing, but he's not helping me add any new things to what I'm doing. So let me just go over here, get help, get some things added, learn some new things, and then I'll come back. But Bullet felt like, oh, you being disloyal, just stay over there. And to me, I mean, I guess you could go either way with it. I'm not saying Bullet's wrong. I'm not saying Bullet's right. But I was already feeling like, hey, Rolly, you know, he might need to go add some new stuff to his game because you can see what he was doing when he was facing the better competition. And he moved up in weight, it was no longer working like that. So he probably just needed to spruce up the things, add a new thing, few things to his game. He was going to go to another trainer, get it, learn some new things real quick. And I think fighters should work with different trainers anyway to learn different things. Like I don't necessarily feel like, oh, you should have this one trainer, and if you go to somebody else, you being disloyal. Like, no, maybe one trainer specializes better at defense. I can go over here and pick up some things about defense. Maybe this trainer is good at footwork. I can go over here and pick up some things about footwork. But that's just my 2 cents. What do I know, right? Ray Davis in the building. What's going on? Hilltop say, I feel like this should have been a welcome to PBC on Prime free match, but it is what it is. If the numbers aren't good, then it sends a message. Exactly. If you felt like it should have been a free match, don't buy it. Watch the replays on YouTube the next day. Watch the highlights. Don't buy it. Richard Perry said, when you going live again, I try to for sure go live every Sunday because it's really tough for me to do it during the week. I got appointments, I got work, my kids got boxing practice. So it's tough for me to go during the week, but every Sunday for sure, I've made a commitment to going live. I haven't dedicated a time yet, but I will be going live every Sunday. Snoopy say, I am confused how Pitbull got this title shot, especially when there are more deserving challengers at 140. You think the winner sets up a Tank rematch at 140? Now, I was wondering about that because for some reason, people really won't take the fight Pitbull, and I don't know why. Like, he already beat this guy with one hand, but I've heard also that they could be setting up a Matias fight with Pitbull or maybe even Rolly. So maybe the winner of this fight will get a Matias fight. Let's say Rolly beat Pitbull, he gets a Matias fight. Matias beats Rolly, and then Tank moves up and fight Matias for both of the belts. That seems like a possibility. Even if Pitbull beats Rolly and beats Matias and rematches Tank, I guess you couldn't really complain too much about that fight because he would have two belts. And so Tank will move up to 140, fight Pitbull, and take those belts. But any of those scenarios, just to give my 2 cents, are possible. But I don't think. Let me say this. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know and drop it below in the comments. I don't think Pitbull gonna beat Rolly. I think Rolly will stop Pitbull. Oh, you was asking Ray when he going live again. I thought you was talking to me, Richard. Let's see. In-house move in the PBC. Pitbull #1 ranked at 35. Listen, the PBC gonna do what the PBC gonna do. Nobody is going to try to shade the PBC and acting like they're not doing what all the other promotional companies are doing. Because, okay, you're asking, how is Pitbull getting a title shot? How is Lomachenko and Kambosos fighting for a vacant belt? How is that possible? How? How is Kambosos and Lomachenko coming off a loss? How is he getting a shot at a vacant belt? Kambosos, like, come on. So we can't just try to put all this attention on the PBC and act like they're doing something so wrong. Skills from New Orleans in the building. What's going on? Neither, honestly, did zero to garner interest in any meaningful rematch with Tank. Absolutely. But if they capture those two belts, then maybe, hey, Tank could fight them. Well, who knows? Who knows? It says, where's the super chats? I don't see the option for it. I would love to support. Thank you, Hilltop. I haven't monetized my channel yet. I'm still working on that. But you can see my Cash App down there at the bottom of the screen. 2 cents boxing. That's my Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Appreciate the support, Hilltop 156. Let's see. D-Town say, my bad. Doghouse 313 says, I don't ever want to see a Tank Cruz fight ever again in life. Come on, how you gonna say that? If the man get two belts, it will make sense, right? You can only say that's fair. If Pitbull beat Rolly and Matias, come on, he definitely could get the rematch. You can't complain too much. That actually might be a big fight. Because it's some people out there, Doghouse, whether you want to believe it or not, that think Pitbull beat Tank. Because he kept coming forward and being aggressive. They really felt like he beat Tank. But chat, let me know and drop it below. What do you all think? Do you think, who you got, Rolly or Pitbull? Who do you got in that fight? Let me know and drop it below. Do you got Rolly or Pitbull? I think it's a toss-up, though. I can't pick a definitive winner, to be honest with you. But I felt like Rolly had some things that he needed to work on. And if he was to work on them things, that they would have, he would have been a better fighter. And if he has a new trainer and he's worked on those things, I really think he's going to be a little tough to beat. Ray Davis say, I am on board with cutting slack to PBC We are in a new generation of boxing, and Thurman didn't want to be a gatekeeper at 147. He's stepping in to be a 154 catchweight and attempting to get a Bud fight. Well, right, Bud said Thurman off his hit list. He said he's not fighting Thurman. So, I mean, and this is the thing. Ellerby has told Bud to pretty much be quiet because the options you think are available to you may not be available to you. So you've been running around saying who you ain't gonna fight, who you ain't gonna fight, who you ain't gonna fight. And at one point you were saying you wasn't gonna fight Tim Tszyu. So a Tim Tszyu fight did become available, which I don't think you can fight anybody anyway because you got the rematch with Spence. So I I don't even know why all these reports and things keep coming out about who Bud fighting. You fighting Spence. Like, I don't understand. Hold on, y'all. I gotta find my charger. My thing about to die. I don't understand why that's even an issue, but we'll see if he fights Thurman. I don't think Thurman is a big threat or anything to Terrence Crawford. I think maybe it'll be a good competitive fight. But my issue with Thurman, and Thurman's a good fighter, he's a great fighter. He's just been too inactive too long, man. He turned himself into a gatekeeper by not fighting anybody. He turned himself into a gatekeeper. It don't matter where you move up to, you're gonna end up a gatekeeper, Thurman. Unless you beat Tim Tszyu and get this belt, that's gonna be your destiny. Just to give my 2 cents. You got Rolly winning the fight. How? How Rolly gonna win the fight, right? What you got? What's your assessment? What's your assessment? Skills from New Orleans. Pitbull wins debilitating, crippling, devastating knockout via vicious uppercut. Rolly is uppercut friendly. Yeah, but is Pitbull too small? Is Pitbull too small? We got to remember he moving up in weight. Is he too small? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wrenching a couple of folks up right now. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all for the support. The Cash App is right there at the bottom of the screen. 2 cents boxing is the Cash App. If you're interested in supporting the channel, I'm on my way to being monetized. I am currently at 729 subscribers. So if you haven't already, punch that subscribe button, punch that like button. Make sure to share my videos. Make sure to comment on my videos. Like I say, I'm so busy during the week, man. I would love to be able to drop daily content. I'm trying to get a schedule. I'm trying. I'm getting a schedule together so that I can get that done. Because, you know, it had got slow for a little while, but it's been a lot going on right now. So skills from New Orleans, you want to call around? Who y'all putting y'all money on? Y'all gonna even bet on this fight? I don't even think I could bet on the fight. Maybe over under. I think it'll be under 6. I think it'll end under 6. But Rolly's not too bad of a fighter if he could just build on some things and set up his power. Now, Pitbull, on the other hand, he just hooks on hooks on hooks. Hook after hook after hook after hook. No footwork, no cutting off the ring. He looked terrible in his last fight. Terrible. Says Rolly, and that's the way it's going to go. Floyd is going to make the rematch with Tank and Rolly. I'll pay for that. Really? I want to see a Tank and Rolly rematch. I don't know about that. Claymore Rain in the building. What's going on? So let me hop on this last topic real quick, and then I'm gonna drop the link and we can talk about all this. So it's been a lot of talk going around. Y'all can see the title. The Haney talk and PBC hate is getting ridiculous. So it's been this rumor going around. I don't know if it's true or not about how, because Shakur Stevenson's grandfather did an interview and he said a lot about, you know, Devin and how they moving and how they've been strategic and this and that. But the one thing, for whatever reason, that caught everybody's attention was him telling the story about how Devin Haney got slapped by Lubin. Now, I'm only talking about this just to give my 2 cents because what? Like, these is kids. Like, they were kids. I don't understand why this is even a big deal. Like, you see whole thumbnails and content creators like, oh, Haney got slapped. Like, guys, this was over a decade ago. Like, what are we talking about? These was like 13, 14-year-old kids. My son is 15 right now. And it's like if he got into it about somebody in the gym and he became a famous boxer, he becomes undisputed world champion, and he 25, 26 years old, and y'all bringing this up. Like, it don't make no sense. It doesn't do anything, in my opinion, just to give my 2 cents, to discredit Haney in any type of way, except he got slapped when he was a little kid and he ain't do nothing. I mean, ain't this Lumen older than Devin Haney? Is he bigger than Devin Haney? Like, what are we talking about? So I just brought that up to point out the fact that the hate is getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand, right? It's one thing to point out inconsistencies in what you're saying or lies you may be telling about contracts and deals and this and that. But bringing up stuff from when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, y'all just reaching for straws at this point. So, let's just stop that, right? Let's just stop that. Now it's a rumor going around that Tank Davis is going to be fighting in the summer in the UK. I don't know. I don't know where that even came. Anybody know where that rumor came from? I think I heard somebody say that he said he wasn't going to be fighting in America. So, why do y'all think he's not going to be? Like, where is the rumor coming from? Like, why do y'all think that? Like, that's what I'm curious to know. Why do you think that Gervonta Tank Davis, after all this back and forth we've been doing about Saudi Arabia and how he need to fight in America, because that's where his fan base is at, why do we now think that Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting in the UK? And from my understanding, Ring Magazine, they did say that. From my understanding, when you fight in the UK, you're capped on like what you can charge for pay-per-views. You're capped on what you can charge for tickets at the gate. So if from my understanding, for Tank to fight in the UK, would he not be taking a pay cut? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Ray Davis says historically, smaller fighters thrive, delivering unexpected knockout towards their taller counterparts. Mike Tyson versus everybody, Tank versus everybody. That's true, but Pitbull can't really fight like that. Ray Davis says exactly at 2 cents. He was slapped by a man. Dev was 15, so it was weird to talk about. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Like ain't Lubin a grown? Like, that was like, what are we talking about, guys? Like, if he was slapped and he didn't do nothing, so what? If he paid for a fight to get taken off his record in Mexico, so what? Like, that stuff was so long ago, guys. It doesn't even matter at this point. It's already past. Like, I mean, I guess it speaks to your character, possibly, especially like the paying for the losses and what lengths you may be willing to go through and blah, blah, blah. But it's boxing. And if you weak, you just weak. I mean, if he got slapped, he just got slapped. If he ain't do nothing, he just ain't do nothing. Like, it's no reason to be making a whole video about it and talking about it as if we're going to rehash the incident, or it just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe he did get slapped and ain't do nothing. So, like, it don't even matter. It's sad that Spence gave up everything to make that fight, and now Bud is trying to renege. It's sad. You know what, Hilltop? I don't think Bud is trying to renege. I think Bud likes to just cause chaos and confusion. Like, I really think he just causes chaos and confusion. I don't think he's scared to do the rematch. Like, I don't think none of that is true. I just think he likes to fuck with his fans, for real. Like, I just think he likes to fuck with people and cause confusion and chaos, because if you're contractually obligated to fight Spence, and then I heard, I'm not gonna say the name, but I heard one content creator say Bud doesn't want to fight in the rematch with Spence because he doesn't like the way he handled the loss. What? What do you mean you don't like the way he handled the loss? What does that mean? You don't like that he came out and told his story? You don't like that he came out and was transparent about what was going on with him? None of that has to do with you fighting a rematch. None of it. So I don't care if Spence got an arm amputated and you got to honor the rematch. You just have to honor the rematch. It's going to be a decent payday. May not be. And I don't know. Some people say, oh, people ain't going to watch this rematch. They might. Especially after Spence came out and said what was wrong with him. We don't know. but you're gonna get a decent payday and the fight gonna be easy for you. So what are we talking about? And Ring Magazine, I don't even fool with Ring Magazine, but I do have an understanding that it's owned by Oscar. And I don't know if y'all are noticing, but it seems to be, and it's not just Tank, it seems to be like this type of war of everybody else against PBC. The propaganda coming out. We've now learned that the Saudi guy is not really a prince and he don't got unlimited funds. They got a business of boxing over there just like everybody else do. They can't just do whatever they want. It was never really no $20 million offer. Like, we're learning all of that now, and it's like nobody, it's just zipped up. It's like, okay, let's sweep that under the rug. Oh, Tank fighting in the UK. Let's start a whole new rumor, some more new drama. Like, I don't get it. These dads and granddads are messy. Like, I don't even know. Somebody said the interview, asked him about it. I haven't watched the interview yet, or if he brought it up. Maybe it was just a funny story. Like, I remember this time Devin got slapped. Like, I don't know. But it's nothing to be making no big deal about. You got Bill Haney on Twitter defending it. I wouldn't have even responded to that foolishness. I just would have ignored it. Like, everything doesn't deserve a response. And maybe Bill is like, cool, Devin name's still in the headlines. Let me respond. Let me keep him relevant. But let's not keep Devin relevant like this. Like, it's getting irritating, for real. And I'm a content creator. In my very humble opinion, if the public believes Spence was messed up, they're going to want to see Bud fight the real Spence. Rematch only sells if it's possible to see a different outcome. But Richard Paris, it's a lot of people that believe, like, this is what I hear, like, and then y'all should go watch my last video I made. Why would I lie? That's what it says on the thumbnail. It's a lot of people that are like, well, the rematch gonna be worse than the first fight. Terrence Crawford gonna put him in the hospital. He gonna beat him so bad it's gonna end in 3 to 5 rounds. And I'm thinking in my head, like, where is this logic coming from? If Spence had a broken rib, which, listen, I don't know about that man having no broken rib, because how can you can barely breathe with a broken rib, let alone do a fight. So maybe broken rib isn't what was going on with his rib, but he clearly had something going on with his rib. He clearly had some drugs going on to cover up the pain for what was going on with his rib. He ran in the mountains, which I don't know if people really understand what running in the mountain does to affect you and how long you got to take to get acclimated with that and how that could affect you. And he had the issue going on him with his eye. Now, excuses or whatever you want to call it, if Terrence Crawford didn't put Earl in the hospital with all of those things going on, I don't know what make people think that he's going to, quote unquote, end his career and put him in the hospital and the fight gonna end earlier when he doesn't have those things going on. So I don't really understand the logic. And this is the reason why they're saying that people don't want to see the rematch. I don't get it. It says Dougie Fisher is the guy that drops the stories. He's a huge hater at Ring for and against the PBC. And that's the same thing with the Rick Glacier dude. I'm like, how do they continuously have credibility and get away with just saying these random things that don't make no sense? Just like, listen, this is how I feel. All last year we kept hearing PBC going out of business. Al Heyman messed up Showtime. He the reason why they shutting down, which wasn't true. And they shutting down. They not gonna have no network after this. They done. PBC is done. So to me, the fact that PBC is having a card on March 30th, I feel like everybody should be excited, because just last year they was going out of business. So to me, this should be impressive to people, not them complaining about the card and how they charging for pay-per-view and who fighting on the card. Y'all was just saying all last year that they wasn't gonna have no network. Al Heyman fucked up the network. Nobody else was gonna work with him. And boom, they dropping the card on March 30th. Everybody should be like, oh, wow, how did they pull this off? They was just going out of business. But that's not what they're doing. They go from made up story to made up story to made up story, and nobody ever calls them on it. And that's why I'm bringing it to their attention. That's why I brought up that DAZN schedule, because nobody is not saying one word about that. Some of those fights are pay-per-view. Nobody's saying nothing about that. Bud should be happy that Spence validated the injury rumors, so now more people want to see them get back in there. I don't know why, Bud, and that's how I felt. Like, Bud, you should be selling this rematch too. You're gonna profit off of this too. I don't know why you're not like, oh yeah, you got all them excuses. We'll wait till I get you back in the ring and they're gonna really see what's up. Like, why are you not saying that? You're saying everything but that. You're saying you want to fight everybody else in a different weight class, but you want to fight Earl Spence at 147 because you don't want the rematch. I don't know. To me, it seems like a bad business decision to be doing that, but maybe he feels that that's a good way to sell the fight. Ray says, well, Bill was responding as a dad. I understand. I'm not saying I would say that, but I would jump on homie if a bigger 18, 19-year-old slapped my son at 15 years old. If you are a parent, you understand. Listen, and that's what I'm saying. Where was Bill at when the dude was slapping your son for no reason? Or slapping your son and he didn't do nothing? Did you tell him to do something? Did you check him? Like, what did you do? You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know, but I'm about to drop the link. I'm about to be on here for a few more minutes. People can come up here and chat real quick. But yeah, that's just what I want to talk about today. Like, I'm not understanding, like, the Devin Haney, the whole Saudi Arabia thing, the $20 million offer. We was going back and forth about that. Who want to fight? If they really want to fight, that's cool. But when we with the slapping and the this and the that, like, I don't care, bro. Like, it's old. It's 10 years ago. That's over a decade ago. They was kids, literal kids. Like, why are we bringing this up? But I guess it's boxing. I mean, I don't know. Because we haven't even heard this. I could see if we heard it, like, when Dev was in his early 20s or something. And then it's coming back up right now. But we haven't even heard this at all. We haven't even heard this at all. Oh, Cooking with Frank in the building. What's up, Cooking with Frank? Says Bill knows it happened and it's cowardly to talk about shooting someone because your son got slapped by another teenager. Bill is trash. Man, I don't know. Bill no need to fall back. I'm kind of sick of him at this point. And listen, Tank not even saying nothing. Everybody steady keep bringing this man name up. Mm-hmm. CK Ray in the building.
What's going on? What's going on, T Cent? I don't understand this situation. We're talking about a whole different era. Number one, and depending on where you're from is how you handle yourself. I mean, I probably just slapped the dude upside his head because I'm gonna keep it a buck. My son's 16, and I know of an 18-year-old that's a lot bigger than him because he's still growing. He's still filling out. And you got to remember, Devin's a lot smarter than Lubin. So we're talking about a 15-year-old, and Devin had to be about 126, 130. Lubin had to be around 150, 160.
And he way older than him too?
Yeah, he's 3 years older than 3 to 4 years older. That's what I'm saying. He's a grown man slapping a child. I don't care how you put it, man. Bill had every right to say what he said. I mean, I wouldn't have took it there with a pistol shooting and stuff. I'm just saying, but if that's how he rolled, that's how he rolled. And you don't know how people roll in the streets. That's why you don't put your hands on other people's kids. Point blank. See, because as a mom, daggone well, somebody roll up on your kid in school, and you like, what happened? You go into that principal, who touched my child? I know you 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So why are we all and it's not against Tank or Devin, because I know a lot of people associate this because and please forgive me, because they ride with Tank. It has nothing to do with that. It's like when I was trying to make a comparison yesterday about the gun situation that we was talking about on another channel. I wasn't trying to drag I'm not going to say his name. I was trying to drag the other coach in the mud. That wasn't what I was doing. I was making a comparison to situations that, you guys are so harping on this situation when the guy just made a statement where a guy was actually in the situation. That's what I was saying. I said we never talked about that. It was never brought up and it wasn't dragged out. And we're saying that this was big news. What's big news about a guy slapping somebody's son, a man slapping somebody's child? And 10 years ago,
10 years ago at that. That's what I'm saying.
10 years ago, like come ridiculous. On now.
I mean, y'all making thumbnails and videos, like
right.
On, like,
that was my point. That was my point. And then I got like what do you call it? Exhilarated from the conversation and hung. I was like, whatever, bro. I ain't gonna sit there and argue with you with it. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like if that was my kid, brick in the head, garbage can. If I got a gun, it may happen. Who knows? That's
Yeah,
my
man.
kid. You know what I mean?
I'm really gonna tell my son go handle that. Don't let nobody do you
Well,
like that, bro.
well, if it's a grown man, your son box, like, you know what I mean? Not everybody in that situation. And, if your son's smaller than the person significantly, and they in the same, geez, I can't even talk. Um, and he's smaller than him. And yeah, they both box, but you got dude walking around like 180, your son like 130. You're not going to let your son get up there and they both got the same skill set. No way.
Right. I mean, just do it's just old. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know. It's getting
Right.
ridiculous. That was my whole point.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Like
exactly,
it's just
exactly.
getting ridiculous.
I was just answering the question, because I understand how people feel. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm not going to try to change that.
Let's see.
As far as boxing news, because that's really I know what we're here for. You know what I mean? I know we're not here for all this
No,
outside the
no.
line stuff.
Well, hey, we talk anything. We talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion over here.
Right,
So,
right,
what
right.
you got?
I don't know. The fight last night was pretty decent. I wanted to build on that if you don't mind. I mean, I thought
Let
that
me
fight,
let me read these. Let's see. Skills from
yeah,
New Orleans say Bud purposely chasing fights he knows are not available to him, and that's what I was saying. Skills like he's just causing chaos and confusion. Like you're under contract, dude. You're fighting Spence next. Unless Spence say he don't want to fight, that's who you fight next. So I don't even know why we going through this. Oh, Jerron, Bud told Jerron to call Al and all this. Like it's so crazy. Like let's just stop it. D35 in the building. What's going on? Supreme L. What's up? What is going on? What is going on? Who else we got? Um, Cooking with Frank say, if your child doesn't fight back, it's his fault. Lubin is 2 years older. Big deal. There's no age restriction on street fights. Devin got slapped by another teenager and did nothing. Yeah, but it don't matter.
it
That's
don't
what I'm
matter.
saying. It don't even
He
matter.
wasn't. He's not 2 years older for a fact. He's not 2 years older. I'm 100% sure he's not 2 years older. But okay,
Cooking
whatever
with
you
Frank,
say,
let
bro.
me rinse you up. But what you got about the fight?
Um, Actually, I'm gonna turn the tables again because I like the Tank and Frank situation and the UK thing. That's something that you had on your platform. We can build on that instead. Um, I like the fact that that fight is possible. I would like to see that fight. I think we talked about it on other platforms, and I see that Frank brings a stellar competitive uh, edge to the fight. Though I don't think he would win, but I do see that Frank has the moves and the style that can cause trouble and potentially win against a Tank Davis. As far as the fight being in the UK, I don't know if that's possible. Like, the only way they would do it is because they know, like, the fighter Tank Davis is huge. He's a Floyd Mayweather is huge. Let me correct myself. And being that he comes from that pedigree, that can actually bring fans to the arena, such as Wembley or one of those soccer arenas, wherever they play at over there. They can box in one of those arenas. That would boxing is huge in the UK, and that can actually bring money. Um, and being that it's Frank Martin, we would hope that we get a good fight. Only problem I
But that wouldn't make sense.
I'm going where you going, but it
Because
won't make
it wouldn't
sense
make
because
because neither one of them are UK fighters.
right, right, because
It just
now
don't make logical
you're bringing
sense.
two Americans over to fight, and two, Frank already said he didn't want to travel overseas to fight. If I'm not mistaken, or his team or somebody leaked the information that he don't want to fight in Saudi Arabia, or we're assuming that. And now we're trying to put the guy in England. Like it just don't add up. So I would prefer to see that fight in somewhere like Texas or New York. I think especially in the summer, that'd be a great place for one of these fights to take place. It will sell out, obviously. It will bring a lot of attention to boxing. The PBC will make a big payday. I'm sorry that Tank didn't get to fight March 30th as they were saying to us that he's going to be the announcement. I'm sorry he didn't make his announcement, and I'm sorry he didn't make
But
his.
who said that? That's what I'm saying.
Who
Is
said
saying
Tank
this
was going to
stuff?
make the announcement for the 30th?
Yeah.
Everyone online was saying that he's going to be the headliner on the PBC fight. I thought it might have been the case. I just think that things went they couldn't get a fight for him. Possibly maybe it wasn't just time. I don't know. But I can tell you this: if that was the case, it's not a bad like as I thought about it. At first, I thought Thurman and Zoo, nah. But now that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? It's not actually a bad fight because when you look at it, Zoo was a young guy coming out. He's a young boxer coming out, and we got new talent in all these divisions. So why not let these young guys start to shine now and start trying to make numbers for themselves, build up the resumes of all these promotional companies because we got a lot of them coming up, and Why hold on to what we know? Because you know what the problem was? We all failed, and this is what as boxing fans. This is why boxing fans left boxing a lot. Because when Floyd left, there was nobody else. Nobody really went anywhere else. Like the true boxing fans stayed. They watched Thurman. Uh, they watched Spence. And Spence was a little later, but they watched Bud. You know what I mean? They were watching people, but it still wasn't like who's their competition? I don't know who they're fighting. So now we got established fighters coming up, and we start building them now before, like Canelo was built at the end of Floyd's career. Look where he is. If we start building fighters up now, as these guys are starting to, the stars are starting to make their way out, guess what happens? We continue that trend and we keep boxing alive. We don't have them just falling out and we looking like, okay, who's the next guy? You know what I mean?
We got D35 in the building. What up?
All right, peace.
What's up, 2 Cent? What's up, brother?
I think you're right, Ray. But it seems as though, tell me if I'm wrong, Mayweather seemed to be the only, and PBC seem to only be the people that can build up fighters. Top Rank ain't building up no fighters.
I think they do a good job through their prospects because they give them, they spoon feed them for a while. I mean, like up to 16 fights before they make them legitimate. And I think that helps them in their careers where PBC kind of gets fighters that they're actually doing a lot of individual fights and private fights, and then they sign boxers as their fighters, or and then they make them legitimate, and they just get good fighters. I mean, they all have good stables. I think PBC stables a little bit more significant, and you're going to get the bigger fights over there because we already know what Oscar De La Hoya they cherry pick. We know the zone has a weak. Well, actually, the zone is not too bad, but I mean, I don't want to. I'm going to talk about Devin Haney. Trust me, I'm trying to stay away from that guy's name.
He just got over there though. He's not even going to be there long.
Right. I was going to say he moves around because he's really a free agent. You know what I mean? He just signs like two fight deals, 3 fight deals, and he moves on. We got Top Rank, which has, like I said, they have a lot of young guys that's coming into the game. The problem is Bob doesn't move them to the other side of the street. I hope they get to deal with Amazon also, because then that'll give us a nice, you know what I mean, stable to choose from, and crossing the street because they're all fighting on the same platform. They'll make that money together. That's probably what it looks like is going to happen. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, you know what I mean. We'll just stick with PVC.
I don't think that would change anything though.
Yeah, it might, because once it's put on a network. So, for instance, just example, when you got Matchroom, right? So Matchroom, even though they're not Oscar and Matchroom can actually take their fighters and face each other. Because like Ryder's Matchroom and Munguia was Oscar, because they fight on the same network. So that network is what's fronting the money pretty much, or whatever you're doing for the pay-per-view. They're showing the pay-per-view. So that money kicks back to the company, and then it goes to the camps. So it'll be a way for them both to make money on it that way, as opposed to like crossing the street from ESPN to at the time Fox Sports or Showtime. That was a little harder to do because remember, most of the PBC fighters were on Fox Sports before they became Showtime fighters. So at the end of the day, that's kind of how it would roll, in my opinion. Let me state that. My bad. Y'all can hear the game. I'm gonna turn it down. My bad. But that's how I would see it. Q, says you there? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay. D35, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. What you got?
Man, I was listening. Then I got a phone call, so when I was joining in, I couldn't hear nothing what y'all was talking about until I heard his part, but I didn't hear what the main topic was. I heard like Devin Haney. I was reading the comments about.
Oh, we just been talking about. We talked about the fight last night about Jaime Munguia, and I don't know how long you've been on, but I was just saying like Jaime Munguia, cool, he entertaining, but he's not an elite fighter. So all this Canelo talk, and now he ready for Benavidez or David Morrell. I'm like, whoo, y'all kind of setting that boy up. That he not ready for that, and I think he got like 40 fights maybe or something like that. So I don't want to say he's a hype job, but he's just not giving me elite fighter.
He's been on the booby milk for a minute. Yes.
Yeah, he just he's just not an elite fighter for them type of fighters. I mean, it's good for Oscar to have a fighter who can put on a good card And then after the fight, he called out the big fighters, and he can keep winning. Make money for the company, but as far as like getting there with a Canelo or David Benavidez, it's like he got too many flaws in his game, and he fought a short fighter with short arms, and Ryder was giving him some work. Like he was catching him in between his punches a lot. He's an older fighter. I think he's like 39. I think Ryder like 39 years old or something like that.
Yeah, he was looking old in there, old and slow.
Yeah, I definitely don't think
shots.
No Canelo, no David Benavidez. Even that one dude that fought on, I always forget his name. He got a couple fights, probably like 10 fights. He was the last fight on Showtime, last card last year.
David Morrell?
David Morrell, like, I mean, any of them would murder him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no competition.
Yes, he looking like food to me. They gonna feed him to a big fighter, get him some money, and he gonna be out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even want to say Canelo name. Like the commentators was like trying to spoon feed him to say Canelo name, and he had to say it, and he still wasn't even confident with like, oh yeah, I'm ready for Canelo. Like, no.
Like, Canelo got no business. He shouldn't even be in the. How are you talking about this man fighting Canelo over Benavidez? It just don't make sense.
I don't know. I mean, but guess what? Canelo will take that fight. That'd be perfect for Canelo to take a fight like that to avoid a David Benavidez. That'd like anytime somebody's look good that's not really highly skilled, Canelo go take that fight right now. That's why I said he'd entertain Terrence Crawford.
Hell no.
I mean, I'm telling you, he would. He would, because I can fight Terrence Crawford just like I fought Charlo. Bring a smaller fighter 2 weight classes up where I'm going to be physically stronger than, and I'm going to have my way.
What you think about the PBC card on the March 30th?
What's the card?
It's Tim Tszyu, Thurman is the main event. Then you got Issa Cruz and Rolly as the co-main event. You got Laura fighting. I don't know who he fighting. And then you got Fundora fighting. I don't know who Fundora fighting.
Oh, I like it. I definitely like it for the first fight. I guess with Amazon Prime, that's a good look to bring out that fight. Keith Thurman, I think Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu go be a competitive fight. Just because Keith Thurman know how to fight. He know how to
even
box,
after the 2-year layoff, though. What about the 2-year layoff and the moving up in weight?
I mean, the 2-year layoff, yeah, his timing might be off. But Keith Thurman always had good feet. He always been a boxer puncher. So if he ain't able to get you out there with his power, he able to move around that ring and punch off of angles. And I think him coming up from a smaller weight class, he gonna be quicker than Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu just physically strong. Like he just a physically strong to know how to cut the ring off. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who gonna win.
So are those Tim Tszyu's best attributes? Because this is my question for both of y'all. I watched Tim Tszyu fight, and I'm just like, I don't see it. Like, what is it? What is so special about this guy? Like, what? He just seemed like a come forward fighter. He got some pop, like you say, he cut the ring off, but he's just not that great to me.
What Tim Tszyu brings is pedigree. He comes from his father. That starts there. That doesn't mean that he's everything he's cracked out to be, but he does have a strong pedigree. We haven't really seen him challenge, so until we see him challenge, we really don't know what he has. But he does have knockout power. He has a lot of stoppages. He does bring a lot of pressure. Yeah, pressure. Especially when he gets comfortable, he's high pace and he could change the dynamic of a fight. A lot of people sleep on him because he doesn't look the part. And he hasn't been able to display these things, but he's a really good fighter. I mean, he's not all hype. I can tell you that he's not hype. But I would like to see him against some elite competition. Thurman may pose a problem for him. We'll see. I think Thurman brings some tools to the kitchen, but I just think he's going to be a little bit outmatched. I hate for that, especially him being out the ring so long. I think it's going to take Thurman a while to get his joints all oiled up and get back in there and make the right decisions, because being out the ring, one fight in 4 years is really hard to really try to get in there and battle somebody like that. But that's why it's a catch weight, not a championship fight. I hope they change it because it'd be great because they both made the weight. They'll both make the weight technically, but because they did a catch weight thing, I guess that kind of they won't sanction it. So I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, who can't make the weight, and it's only 1 pound. I mean,
They
fight
say that last round the hardest to lose.
I understand that, but I mean,
that whole boy, what's going on?
What's the name said? I think Cooking with Frank asked me. Y'all highlighted.
Cooking with Frank said Bud called you and told you good job.
All right for my boy Bud. He asked you if Bud or David Benavidez. That fight would never happen. David Benavidez is too big for him.
Canelo.
No, I'm saying, but Canelo is a smaller fighter. He's like a rider. He carried the weight as he can carry the weight to compete at 168, but physically he's really physically his size and like his arms and his legs and stuff like that, he really a smaller fighter. Like he's just a heavy dude. Them little short dudes that got that weight, that compact weight. That's what Canelo is. He like Tank. He a bigger version of Tank.
Well, it's not even like the reason why I would say he would have to fight a Benavidez or a Morrell, like fight somebody that's in line to fight Canelo, beat them, and then fight. You get what I'm saying? For business purposes, because now you would garner more interest in the fight. Because we just seen what happened with Charlo. So to me, that's gonna turn people off.
No, see, he can't. I mean, my bad. Go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you need to do something to garner some interest in the fight. Because even Espinoza said he wasn't like, oh, we absolutely can't make this fight. He said we would have to find a way to market it.
I think the name's market itself. I think Bud, he's not about to go up to 168 and compete for a spot compete for a chance to fight Canelo. Bud is looking at it, from my understanding, let's make the big fight, me versus Canelo, and get paid a lot of money. And it might be his last fight.
It's definitely going to be his last fight.
You get what I'm saying? He's not trying to fight. He's not trying to go up in the rankings and fight David Benavidez or Morrell or anybody at 168 that's not going to guarantee that bag. He trying to go for the big fish. That's why he calling out these fighters. I don't
know why he calling out nobody, bro. You in the contract to fight Spence, so just sell your fight that you got coming up, your rematch, and keep it moving.
Nobody want to see that fight. Like it's not going to make that much money as far as pay-per-views like it did last time because the fight was so lopsided. And
it's going to make more money than anybody else he finna fight.
If he fight Canelo, it's going to make Canelo fight is a way bigger fight, like a way bigger fight, way bigger money, everything. It would have been with Charlo, but Charlo looked, he did beat the allegations with his wife or whatever, but with the performance he put on against Canelo.
But you can't compare me a performance 2 weight classes up versus how I will perform in my own weight class. You can't do that. You can't take credit for another man win. Like I fight at 154, that I went up 2 whole weight divisions. How you gonna be like, oh, I ain't gonna fight you because you look bad 2 weight classes up after a 15-month layoff and an injury? But look, this is what I want to ask you too. What you think about the Issa Cruz Rolly fight?
Oh, Issa Cruz. I think I got Issa Cruz. I think it's gonna be whoever land first, but I think Issa go land. I think Issa Cruz got a better chin than Rolly. Rolly don't have no chin. His chin left. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I don't sleep on that. Let me tell you, that fight with Barroso, he got nothing but slugged in his jaw. He kept coming forward.
He got dropped too, though.
That's okay. He got dropped. He got dropped by Tank and knocked out. But that don't mean he ain't got a chin because you get dropped. That just means that you got caught off balance. And Rolly get hit. Yeah, Rolly get hit because he ain't got no defense. But if Rolly can apply the pressure like I think he's going to, that's probably what he's doing. He can definitely get This little dude, because that's all he does. He comes up. He's coming up in weight 5 pounds. 5 pounds is a lot in boxing, and not to mention that it's a whole nother division. And Rolly hits hard. So
that was my thing too. Is he even
hooks,
big enough?
One of them hooks is going to land on a little dude, and Rolly going to watch. Y'all going to see he going to pressure him right down. And y'all going to be like, damn, yo, this dude was right. He called it. I'm telling you, it's a big difference coming up in those 5 pounds because those guys are bigger and stronger. And Rolly too wild.
D35, did you hear Rolly got a new trainer?
Rolly, what? His trainer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got a new trainer. He no longer with Bullet.
Oh, yeah. I was just looking at that earlier. That's good. He got a new trainer. I don't think Bullet is a really good technical coach.
That's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he is a good technical coach. He kind of like Deontay Wilder trainer. Like they just not.
Who, Malik Scott?
Malik Scott is
he too technical. I feel like that's the problem. I feel like Malik Scott is too technical and he's not building off of what Wilder does.
Bullet is what you want when you start learning how to box. Honestly, he's the guy you want to learn from. But once you get into that field of what you learning and you get to learn what your basic boxing trades are, then you want to move on to somebody that's going to take you there. And that's what Rolly's doing. He should have did that a long time ago, but he was being loyal to Bullet because Bullet thought he could take. He got him the championship actually at the end of the day, but he thought he was going to be able to get him a championship and his development would do that because Rolly was knocking people out all through 135. So when he got up to 140, it changed for him. That's it.
Yeah, I never respected Bullet, his training, how he trains. Like I'm like, dude, that is not gonna work when you fight.
Unless you go up, huh?
Yeah, it's just, I mean.
And your power gonna be different as you go up. It ain't gonna be unless you just got brute super power. Like you're not just gonna be stopping dudes with no one punch like you was at 135.
Yeah, and he come from like a martial art background,
right.
And he's so wild. He's so wild with his stance, his punches.
That's why he needs the training. That like we just said. That's why he needs to switch up his trainer. That hurts. But coming from that type of background doesn't hurt because we know that Jab Judah came up with martial arts and look at the champion he became. So we can't knock it on the background. It does. It can be the.
No, it definitely helps.
Yeah,
it's just that he needs to build on it.
It's just a martial arts. Your head placement's a slightly different balance. So you get caught leaning forward sometimes because of the way the punches are thrown. So it is what it is.
So what's his? I thought his dad came from a martial art background.
But he trained. No, but he was training as a young kid. He was training martial arts with his dad. He just got into boxing because that's what it was out there in Brooklyn. They only had the boxing gym, so into the gyms training martial arts, and his dad was there. I think it was his uncle. I got to talk to my boy. My boy is his cousin, so I'm gonna double check with my boy. But he was telling me,
tell him to come over here and do an interview.
Who, Derek or
Rolly?
No, not Rolly. No, I'm talking about Zab.
Zab Judah.
Zab. My boys. Yeah, They but he was a kickboxer, so he wasn't really like karate and stuff. So he boxed. So he just wanted to get into boxing instead of that type of martial arts. So that's where Zab came in. But the skill set helped him. I mean, look where it took him. So
but I agree with that whole boy. He said Rolly can beat Cruz if he fights tall and stick to a strong jab in his face all night. I mean, I got Rolly beating Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that Tank fight took a lot out of him psychologically. Like he knew coming into that Tank fight, he thought he was gonna be able to bully the smaller fighter, and when he got caught off guard like that, like you seen how he looked after that, like he was timid in that fight against that old man.
But he said the old man hit hard though, for real. That's why he was looking like that.
Yeah, he didn't expect that. And
he didn't expect it, but you still have to be able to. You got to go on the line of the fire sometimes to get your punches off. You can't be timid the whole fight and fight on the back burner, fight on the back foot and get beat up. Sometimes you got to go in there and take them chances. You have to if you're not a superior boxer, and Rolly's not.
I get
That's
you.
True.
But
That's
look
true.
at the difference between O'Hara Davies and Rolly Romero fighting this dude. I'm saying they both look stupid, right? But Rolly went to the 9th round with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he does. That's what I said. He could take a little bit more. He can absorb a little bit more than some people. So we don't give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Rolly like highly skilled. I think he got a lot of gifts in the sport of boxing. But he did make a name for himself, and he definitely made a name for himself. So I ain't knocking him for that. Like,
I ain't gonna lie about the gifts for real.
He definitely got some
Came early
gifts.
for that dude.
yeah, he came early. Like nobody knew who Rolly was until he fought Tank, and he got that fight. And he actually lost the fight prior to that, before that Rolly fight. But they gave it to him. They gave him the decision.
There was no contest. I thought that was rule. No, because that was the infraction fight, wasn't it? Wasn't that the one he got suspended for?
No. Remember he had to fight against I think who fought him and beat him. He was a good fighter. He was a Cuban fighter or a Mexican fighter, and he was giving Rolly, man, the business. But they gave the decision. You know what I mean? They gave him the decision.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I got a question for y'all, but let me read this real quick. Rolly and Cruz skills is about the same, so I would say whoever get caught first may get stopped. Hey, listen, if you're listening, please be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, check out my videos. Let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. I got the Cash App going throughout the bottom of the screen if you would like to support the channel. I'm not monetized yet, but I am on my way. So do you all think that 140 is the new glamour division?
Yes. I think it's
140 the new glamour position. Division. Yeah. Or 135. I mean, they both right there.
So
135 and 140, they both right there.
So this goes on to what I was saying about 135 earlier about the guys already in their careers, and then you got the young guys coming in. It's a big gap separation. So when you got on 135 is you got like the elite fighters, and you got some guys that's just there, and then you got guys coming in. You know what I mean? And those guys coming in are really good. There's nothing wrong with that. But at 140, we got all the guys that left or that division and guys that started in that division that are killers. And some of them are just real good boxers that came up. So that makes it really good. The problem is Boots is at 147, and none of those guys that are at 140 are going to jump up there because he's there. That's why I was saying Boots better. He can make a whole bunch of noise going to 154 and destroying that division, which I believe he can. But 140 is definitely the glamour division, followed by 154 right now, in my eyes.
Yeah, and that's my thing with Boots. I'm kind of like, should Boots move up to 154? Because, like, if we're honest, it doesn't matter who Boots beat at 147. They're all gonna keep saying he ain't fought nobody.
Right.
It don't matter.
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there. It's wasted for him to collect all the belts. They're just going to say, just like Roy Jones did at the middleweight division.
I mean, it's not his fault though.
Exactly.
It's like he a decade too late.
Or light heavyweight. It might have been light heavyweight. They were saying like Roy Jones ain't fighting nobody. So, I mean, it's going to be the same thing for him. And it's sad because you want this guy. You know he has talent. You want this guy to fight the best, and the best ain't there no more. You know what I mean? So we want to go to 154 where you got fighters, you got names in that division. You can go up there and fight. You know what I mean? And then still get the belts. Like you can do the same thing there. I mean, and you got guys that's going to fight you because they can take, you know what I mean? They can take a little bit more of a punch, and they're not going to be afraid because they're just as big, if not bigger than you. So it helps Boots to move up. I mean, that was my argument before, but you know, if he wants to stay at 147, more power to him. You know, it's going to be like a graveyard, or what you call them, the ghost towns in the Wild Wild West. He's going to be there shooting by himself, unfortunately.
Yep. Hey, because at 147, it like if he stay at 147, it's like he wasting time there. Like he just wasted a part of his career where he's not going to get credit for if he stays at 147. If he goes up to 154. I mean, that's where the competition is. That's where the heat is. And that's where people will see him in more of a 50-50 fight. Instead of like, ain't nobody at 147 besides the guy that beat up, what's his name? To beat up Usyk? Ugas. Who the
Oh,
Mexican?
Barrios? No,
Oh, you talking about Barrios?
You got
That's the only
Stanionis. Yeah,
That's who we supposed to be fighting next.
yeah, you got Stanionis, but he talking about moving up.
But
So,
Stanionis been ducking him.
yeah, he talking about moving up. Nobody want that work, man. They don't want that shot.
Nobody
And the only other person you got is as weird as it says, is Blair Flair, who just won a payday. Like, you know what I mean? And then you got what's the name? If Golden Boy didn't drop what's the name after the Villa loss, we might have had that fight going
Speedy
on.
Rashidi?
Yeah.
I
dropped
like
him?
that fight for
Yeah,
him.
they
I
dropped
honestly do.
They dropped him. That's his best fight right now in that 147, and he wanted that fight. That should have been the fight to happen, but you know, it is what it is.
It's like he just in the wrong era, man. Like, even if he go to 154, like, who's really there? Because Charlo probably
He's got
moving
fighters.
up.
Oh, he got a lot of fighters.
Yeah, he's got a lot of opportunity there to fight.
I don't know. He want to be undisputed, but it's just not gonna. They still gonna clown him. They still gonna keep saying he ain't fought nobody.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say that clown him. It just be like me personally. I just feel like it'd be a wasted accomplishment staying at 147.
Right.
It just be wasted. Like, okay, you can get all the belts, but are you gonna be satisfied with that? With the competition, the level of competition you facing and winning? No. You go to 154. You got Erickson Lubin. You have the tall dude, Fundora. You got Charlo up there.
Ramos, Charlo, Mendoza. You got Earl
Keith up there now.
Thurman now. Zoo, Mekovich, or whatever the Russian dude name is. You got jeez.
You even got Tony Harrison as a gatekeeper. You can come out here and fight him. And
so many. It's the top 15 fighters in 140 is all about it. Like 154, excuse me. So it's there for him. It's really there. Now I'm not saying anybody in that top 15 want to get the ring with him, but I can guarantee you 9 of them do.
Let's see. That whole boy says Boots haven't taken a belt off a champ yet. I think he should stay there and get those other belts because if he moves up right now, he has no leverage when it comes to negotiations. That's true.
Okay.
I mean, we'll look at it from that way, but
let's look at it. Let's look at it for what it is. So now he's going to be fighting Barrios for a WBC title, but he's taking it off. If that happens, then you got Stanionis who may get rewarded, or he has to fight Stanionis for another vacant belt, and then you got one belt that's going to be sitting in limbo that he's going to have to fight somebody for. You know what I mean? So they're all going to be vacant, just sitting there. There's no champions that may not. Only one that may get the belt is Stanionis, and like I said, he's going to drop it anyway and run out. He ain't going to fight Boots. So we looking at him just taking the belts and not off of nobody, but just fighting for belts. That's not taking them, you know. So it's not going to be significant. That's what happens at the end of the day. Like no one would fight him. So what happened? They rewarded him the belt because no one would fight him. He was the boogeyman. It was like, look, we can't get you a fight. We're just going to give you this title because these guys don't want to fight you. This guy want to move up. They got a rematch. Give you the belt.
I don't like that the way they did that. I don't respect that. Him getting the belt that way was dirty. Knowing that he had
but he fought 1,000 eliminators.
Give me 1 second. I gotta go talk to my son. 1 second.
Okay. But I'm saying because they stripped him because Bud couldn't fight. Like even if Bud wanted to fight him, he couldn't make that fight. You get what I'm saying? Like I didn't respect that they took the belt from him, and Bud just got that belt, and Earl Spence had the belt for over a year, and that was his mandatory. And they didn't strip Earl. I just didn't. I didn't respect that. But no, you know the greatest thing about him, if he goes up to 154, then he put pressure on Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, because if they stay at 147, they both are clearly ducking Boots. But they both said they can't make the weight, and they both want to go up to 154. If Boots go up there, now it's like, now let's work. Like, now ain't no running from me. Now, we was at 147. Y'all said y'all had a rematch, and y'all said y'all both couldn't make 147. It was hard for both of y'all. Y'all want to go to 154. Now I'm here too. So let's figure this out. I think that's probably, that'll be a power move for Boots.
Yeah. Well, we got to see what's finna shake and bake. And then you got Cromwell Moten coming up. You got what's the dude name? Andy Cruz coming up. You got some good prospects coming up. So I'm interested to see what's gonna go down. As soon as Ray come on here, I'm gonna let everybody get their last words. And I've been on here about an hour and a half today cooking. So what you got going on today, D35?
Man, I'm watching the football. I'm hoping the Chiefs win in San Francisco. Then I hit on my ticket.
I got the Chiefs and Lions, but I'm gonna hop off. My son's sick, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and get your last words. I was about to hop off. I was waiting on you to get back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I just want to say we just gonna have a couple of good fights coming up. We got a Shocky Foster versus Nova coming up. We also got the Ortiz fight coming up. Those are gonna be some good fights to watch. So at the end of the day, we got boxing. Doesn't matter what channel it is, as long as we get good fights, that's all we need. That keeps us in the seats. You know what I mean? So let's get this year going.
Cool.
At the end of the day, peace. Thank you for having me. 2 cents.
All right. Peace out. Is that why my live looking slim today? Everybody watching football?
Oh yeah, you came on soon as the game started. I was just on my phone like, damn, she went live right now.
I ain't even know, I don't keep up with football like that. I'm like, damn, I got one person in here. Like, ain't nobody fooling with me. I was in here by myself for about 20 minutes. Yeah. Fight game. What's going on? All right, what you got? Last words?
Great fights coming up. I can't wait to see Keith Thurman back in the ring. I feel like he's been slighted a lot due to his own demise and due to everybody saying that one loss with Pacquiao, which was a close loss, hurt his career. But he wasn't active, so it's mainly on him too. But they try to act like Keith Thurman is the bum, and I can't wait till he come back and get in the ring and knock the rust off. And
if he beat Tim Tszyu, that'll be huge. But my only thing is, if he beat Tim Tszyu, will he stay active? That's my only thing.
I don't think. Listen, ever since he got married, he been chilling. Like it seemed like his priorities have shifted to let me get the biggest money possible and let me put up for my family and invest and all this and only go fight when I need to. He ain't really fighting for his legacy no more because I feel like he going into the Hall of Fame. I feel like he's going into the Hall of Fame with his career. So
he for Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah. He done beat everybody. I think he was the man at 147.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he had all the belts except for one. And Pacquiao had the other one.
Okay. Well, all right, D35, thank you for coming up here, kicking it with me today. I will be live for sure next Sunday. You may catch me throughout the week if I got some time, but I doubt it.
All right, man. Have a good one, 2 cents.
All right, appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for joining me on here today. And if you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to push that like and subscribe button and let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. I just received a Cash App. I don't want to say the person name, but I appreciate it. $4 Cash App, supporting the channel for the live. The Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. If you all would like to support, I have not got my channel monetized yet, but I am on my way. So be sure to punch, like, and subscribe. And I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Peace out.
Thank you.